Yeah. Now, of course, there have been alternative explanations for the fine-tuning evidence. I mean, there's dozens of them, okay? They've been proposed and they don't include a fine-tuner, and they challenge the idea of intellect and design. I've heard your debates, and it seems like everybody's got a new one when they come after you. Can you tell us about one of them called the weak anthropic principle? And how has it been used to explain the fine-tuning?
Yeah, sure. This was kind of the original go-to atheistic counter-argument to the theistic argument based on fine-tuning. And it was basically the idea that, well, of course the universe is finely tuned to allow for the possibility of life. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here to observe the universe or to be alive. But we are alive, so obviously the universe had to be fine-tuned, so there's really nothing there to explain. That's sort of intuitively plausible, except it also has a problem, and that is that it doesn't really explain what needs explaining. It confuses a necessary condition of our existence, which is the fine-tuning, with an explanation of the origin of the fine-tuning, a causal explanation of the origin of the fine-tuning. We still want to know, how did the universe get to be fine-tuned? And why is it that the fine-tuning parameters, the conditions of our existence, are so incredibly improbable? We could live in a universe where the conditions of our existence were extremely likely, and therefore it wouldn't be so puzzling. So there is something there to explain, and there's a great philosopher of science named John Leslie who has developed an illustration to show what's wrong with this weak anthropic principle way of reasoning. He says, imagine you're a member of the resistance during World War II, and you've been caught plotting against the Fuhrer. And the Gestapo come and collect you one morning. They put you up against a wall. You're facing a firing squad of 100 Nazi marksmen. The command is given, ready, aim, fire in German, and the bullets fly. You're blindfolded. It's all over. You're still alive. You take the blindfold off. You turn around and you look, and the bullets perfectly circumscribe the shape of your body, but none have hit you. Now, what do you infer? Do you say, well, you know, if all the Nazi marksmen hadn't missed, I wouldn't be here to even think about it, so there's nothing to explain as to why they missed? Or would you perhaps infer instead that the Nazi marksmen were also part of the resistance and that they meant to miss? Which is a better explanation in that circumstance?
Right.
There certainly is still something to explain. Why did the 100 marksmen all miss in precisely the way that preserved your life? And in the same way, the weak anthropic principle confuses a necessary condition of our existence, which is the fine-tuning parameters, or by analogy, that all the marksmen miss, with an explanation as to why they missed or why the fine-tuning parameters arose. That still needs to be explained. And Leslie argues, as do I, that the best explanation is that there was intentionality behind it. There was intelligent design.
Let's take the opposite. What about the strong anthropic principle?
Well, this one's a little bit wackier. It's the idea of an observer-dependent universe. You ever heard the old saw from sophomore philosophy, if a tree falls in the forest and there's no one there to hear it, does it make a sound? One answer to that question is no. You have to have an observer or a listener to hear the sound. And physicists have applied that same kind of reasoning to the universe, and they've said, well, unless there are observers, the universe would not exist. And since we need the universe to be fine-tuned to produce life and human observers, the universe must have been fine-tuned from the beginning, but the cause of that fine-tuning is the observers who confer existence on the universe. So it's the observer-dependent universe idea, where the observer who arises billions of years after the beginning of the universe, when the fine-tuning was set, is the ultimate cause of the fine-tuning at the beginning. That has an obvious problem, which is the cause is coming long after the effect, and that's not the way cause and effect work. Causes produce effects and therefore precede them. While that had a certain sort of cachet as an exotic hypothesis in physics, most physicists have rejected that roundly as incoherent.
Yeah.